Look, at the end of the day, like again, it's the kind of stuff that I talked about at top is I have to hold on to my dad in his pickup truck came down 4 o'clock in the morning, picked me up in Miami from Tampa. We lived in a little shitty apartment in Tampa. He drove down in his little pickup truck to Miami to get me when I was cut from the CFL. I was driving up I-75. I don't know if you guys are from Florida, any of you guys, if you know, I-75 is like, especially down in Florida, Alligator Alley. I'll never forget it. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, well, fuck. I leave home like you guys left home. I'm ready to tackle the world, to get after it, achieve my dreams and goals. Fucking crushed by 22, 23 years old. Now I gotta move back in with my mom and dad. I played on great teams though. Wait a second, this is not supposed to be my future. I'm supposed to be in the NFL right now. I'm supposed to be making a lot of coin and buying my parents shit, buying me shit, taking care of my wife, but it never happened. So I pulled out my wallet, I thought, well, let me see how much money I have. I opened it up, I had a 5, a 1, and change. I'm not fucking around, and well, at least I rounded up to $7. But I thought, God, ain't this a bitch? I got $7 in my pocket. Where the fuck do I go now? What do I do? I can't go back to CFL, because the point comes where you hear that voice, big run's over. Like, you're done, right? So I heard that voice. So as Coach was saying, man, I hold on to that shit. I'm telling you, my back is up against this motherfucker. We laugh, we joke, we have a good time. Press is always fun to do. Sometimes you gotta make it fun. That's another thing. You gotta do your best to make press fun if you can. But my back is still up against this motherfucker. I do not forget it. So Coach was saying, like, you're gonna go through challenging times as a team. You guys are on the come up, you're on the rise. What this also helps me do, and again, it works for me, is at some point, you gotta be fucking tired of not being number one. You have to be, and you gotta fucking play angry, and I play angry. Now, I'm cool and calm with my approach, and when I step out on my field, which is a set, or, like, there's some, and you're always gonna have haters, and haters are like, well, God damn, man, how many movies are you gonna make, or how much shit are you gonna do? Like, you do a lot of shit. I say, yes, it's my ambition. Of course, why not? I could do it, yeah. I love what I do. And not only that, but in what world do we not work every day? It doesn't mean, it's just like you guys in the off season. You gotta work every fucking day. It doesn't end. My back is up against this thing, and I started to play angry, by the way, and I still play angry. My last match, Brock Lesnar, transitioned, and I realized if I had to be great at something, I wanted to be great in this world of Hollywood and movie making and producing and entertainment, I had to commit. And like you guys have to commit. Obviously you commit to something, commit to the goal. So I quietly retired. 2 years later, I thought, what the fuck did I do with my career? Because my movies were not doing well. I was written off. It was around 2006, 2007. I was like, God damn. I pulled a Jim Brown. I left when I was on top, like number one in the wrestling business, and I left. It was a ballsy, gutsy, some call it stupid move. But I had to commit and I had to follow what was in my gut. And at that time, I'll share this with you guys, and Will Smith is my boy. And I sat down at that time with the agency I was with, and they said, what do you want to accomplish? I said, I want to accomplish the world. I want the world, and I want Will Smith's career, and I said, and I mean this respectfully because I know he's here at this agency with us, I want to do it bigger and better. And they looked at me like I had 3 fucking heads, and they were like, okay. But I still stayed focused, and I still had still put in the hard work with my 2 hands, and that's it. And that's what it comes down to with you guys too. Look, I appreciate you guys giving me the time. I enjoyed this back and forth, rapping a little bit. But the one thing I do want to leave you with is, as you guys know, there's nothing you can't accomplish. You're gonna go on, you're gonna become world champions. The key, for me, what I think one of the keys is, remember where you came from, keep that shit in the front of your mind, and when shit goes bad and it goes sideways, a lot of shit does, you're getting booed out of the fucking building, or you're coming through this injury, or people are writing you off, oh, you guys ain't gonna fucking make it, any of that shit. You gotta keep it in here. And it really has to, it should drive you, it should. It works for me, it should drive you. You get all the talent in the world, it's all here. It's all here. Everybody's the next best thing. Everybody's the thing. Everybody's the best.
And I wanted to talk to you about this wonderful opportunity that you have to turn a page in your life. You know, New Year's comes around once a year. And, you know, if you're an ambitious, goal-driven individual, you have the opportunity to turn the page and leave the old you behind. Motherfuckers, how many times do we got to say the same shit? Like, let's be real, dude. Real talk. Most of y'all aren't going to do a fucking thing. And you're going to be mad at me for saying that. Be mad at me for fucking saying that. Most of y'all aren't going to do shit, and you're going to be mad at me because I fucking said it, when in reality, you should be mad at yourself because 2 years ago you said shit, last year you said shit, this year you're saying shit, and next year you're going to be saying the same shit. And you're going to be mad at me. How about this for 2021? How about this? How about we take a fucking inventory of ourselves? We look at ourselves in the mirror and we tell ourselves the truth. We look at our lives and we tell ourselves the truth. The truth is this, it's very simple. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. You either been executing or you haven't been executing. You either are truly ready to make a fucking change or you're not. But it doesn't matter how many people who are motivational people, personal development people, they're all gonna be putting out some fucking message for y'all, right? It doesn't matter how many of these we listen to. It doesn't matter how many fucking videos you watch. It doesn't matter how many courses you buy. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is what you're going to do. And the truth of the matter is this. Most people are gonna get dressed up tonight. This is New Year's Eve, right? They're gonna put on their best shit. They're gonna fucking take some Instagram photos with a bottle of fucking champagne. They're gonna spend their whole motherfucking paycheck and they're gonna be hungover as fuck tomorrow and they're not gonna do shit. They're gonna say, well, you know what? Today, what's tomorrow? Friday? I don't even fucking know. You know why I don't know what day tomorrow? Because I fucking wake up every day and I fucking win the day. And that's all I fucking worry about. That's why my life looks the way it fucking looks. Okay? But they're gonna wake up tomorrow and they're gonna fucking say, oh fuck, dude, it's Friday. I'm hungover. You know what, dude? 2021, I'm gonna bring it in the whole weekend. I'm gonna go, you know how I know this? Because I used to be this. I used to do this. They're gonna go out tomorrow night too, because it's Friday night. Then they're gonna go out on Saturday night and get fucked up too. And then they're gonna day drink on Sunday. And don't forget, I'm not pointing a fucking finger. I lived this life. I know what the fuck this is. That's the truth. Monday, people are gonna finally fucking decide they wanna start. And dude, out of 100 people, 3 of them gonna make it till Wednesday. And one of them's gonna make it fucking, for the year. That's the truth. That's the truth. That is the truth of what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a fucking culture that rewards mediocrity and fucking villainizes ambition and winning and wanting to be better. That's all we see on the internet these days. Very rarely do we celebrate other people winning. Very rarely do we celebrate other people's accomplishments. Very rarely do we celebrate people changing their lives for the better. We live in a victim fucking society that's full of fucking weak ass motherfuckers. That's the truth. Who can look at a before and after picture and instead of fucking saying, God, dude, fuck yeah, man, that motherfucker did it. That dude lost 100 pounds. That woman got her life back. That person built a multi-million-dollar business. And because we're so weak as a society that we can't celebrate other people's success, we make up this fake victim bullshit about diet culture or fucking success culture or all this shit to make other people feel better because they feel bad because they won't do the shit. Look, man, this is the truth. This show's called Real AF, and it ain't for everybody. I ain't for everybody. I ain't trying to be for everybody.
The idea, I haven't maintained my authenticity per se. I've maintained my character. right? I've maintained my beliefs, character in two senses. I've maintained my character of Will Smith, and I've maintained my personal character of what I believe in. So, but in terms of authenticity, the character, Will Smith, signs every autograph, is always happy, and wants to see the fans, and is always in a good mood, and that's actually not authentic, right? I do want to slap somebody, you know, every once in a while. So in terms of authenticity, I have successfully maintained positivity, and now I'm working more to maintain authenticity. I'm granting myself the freedom to not give a fuck when I don't give a fuck, right? And now I'm working into a space of much more authenticity. Now I'm looking forward. It really is. It's a whole new generation. It's a whole new world. It's like with social media, the beauty of that for me is the short form content, right? Like, so I didn't have to go in the studio and make a whole record. Like, I had a verse, I had a track, I laid it, put it out. You know, so that's really given me the opportunity to kind of find my new voice. Like I'm burning again creatively, and I have outlets that I never had before. 2 years trying to find, you know, that way back in. It's like I stopped working for 2 years, and I did it like a serious deep dive on, you know, finding that new flavor, that new me, that new life. So I kind of went back to the drawing board. So the reason I'm excited to do this interview, I got so much shit to say. Like, I got so much stuff I want to talk
Jay's
about.
advice to us was shut up and let Will talk.
I know, right? Oh man, but I'm you know, just started writing again, and just trying to find the way to say the stuff that's in my mind, you know.
But you got real braggadocious, man. 20 years of swag. You just went in and like,
yeah, you know,
it.
that was like the first real goal, like that in terms of setting goals. I was like, I want to be the biggest movie star in the world, right? And up until that point, everything was like, it was fun and it was happening, and we were creating in Jeff's mom's basement, and it was successful. But that was like when I moved into acting, that was the first time I started applying skill to my talents, right? And you know, I look at skill and talent separately. Like, Pete, you're born with talent. You know, it's like there's certain things that you just do naturally. You were gifted with a talent, and you have it. But skill is acquired through discipline, and you know, I've never seen myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is I'm willing to die in the process of acquiring skill. Like, it's, you know, when I put my obsessive mind on something, I'm just dying. Yeah, right, exactly. It's
You're
like,
not working. You also said,
yeah, you know, for me, it's much more about authenticity, right? So, you know, even, you know, in talking about Trump and, excuse me, so my father died on November 7th, and Trump was elected on November 8th. And I literally don't know which one of those was worse for me. Like, you know, but, you know, that time was a deep changing for me in my life. My father dying sort of released me to be me, right? So two things happened. So my father's death, I for some reason now I'm in charge of my family, so I get to do it how I want to do it. I get to lead my family and my people the way I want, not the way that he raised me to. So there was a freedom in that sense. And then the Trump being elected made me realize nobody knows anything. I was like, yo, I talked to people all the way at the top. Nobody knew he was gonna win. all of the big data, all of the information, all of the pundits, even Fox News didn't know he was going to win, right? And those two things back to back really shook me in a way that I had to go back to the drawing board again. I was like, so if nobody knows, then I have to trust me. So I have to know for me. Nobody can know for me. And now that I'm totally free to be me and do me, what does that even mean? How am I going to be me and do me in this new world and in these the new experiences I'm about to have? And one of the major things was the idea of duality, right? The idea that right and wrong aren't separate things, they're together, right? So something that happens to you is the best thing and the worst thing that happens to you. You can't separate them. Like, they go together. Everything has its yin and its yang, and you can't get around it. So the idea that my grandmother teaching me about profanity during that time was what worked to help elevate my career, and it helped elevate my experiences, but it's not necessarily right to not curse. You curse when it's the right thing.
It's this fear of discomfort. People have this extreme feeling in their mind when it comes to their associations with exercise. They want to avoid discomfort. They feel like any type of exercise is just like something to be avoided. That's not for me. Fuck that. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to strain. And a lot of times this association that they have is about the beginnings of getting in shape. It's not about once you're actually fit. Because once you're actually fit, exercise is something you look forward to. It's an alleviation of stress. It feels great. Like, if I can't get a workout in, I look at my schedule and go, oh shit, I don't have any time for a workout, which means I'm not going to get that good feeling. And so instead of looking at it like, oh, I've got to go grunt and sweat, I'm thinking I'm not going to feel good. I'm not going to feel relaxed. I'm not going to feel carefree. And I'm not going to feel even appreciative, like my appreciation of things. And it gets enhanced greatly after exercise. I just feel better. I feel like I can take things in for what they are rather than, whatever sensory data that I'm getting from any event is just one more distraction that gets in my way. And that's a lot of times how I look at things if I'm overstressed or if I'm working too much. Like, our bodies, for whatever reason, most people, their associations are to avoid anything that's uncomfortable. But it's so illogical, because when you look at comfort and you look at success and progress and the feelings of accomplishment and of getting past certain hurdles in terms of like how you feel about life, a lot of those are connected to discomfort. Like, discomfort is your friend. It really is. Like, discomfort and not being happy and content with certain situations in life or certain feelings in life, they're massive motivators, and they're amazing at facilitating change. And yet our instinct is to avoid those and just sit on the couch and watch some fucking reality show about dudes who make moonshine with our jaw open. Like, it's bizarre. And for me, at least, when I get like really disciplined and really I get really consistent with my workouts, one of the things that I almost feel momentum. I feel like there's like a push behind me, like, all right, like after I get out of the gym, I have a really good workout. I'm like, yeah, now I'm doing it. I'm doing it all the time now, and I'm looking forward to the next time. And it makes that resistance much weaker, and it makes my motivation and my discipline much stronger. I think a lot of it is based on just the consistency. Like blowing something off, it's not just not good. Like blowing off an exercise that you planned is not just bad for you physically, it's also bad mentally, because then that option is now available. The option to fuck off is available, and you did it before, and you're probably going to do it again, and you'll get mediocre results, not just in that aspect of your life, but maybe in all aspects of your life. Because I think that option to fuck off, when you embrace it, that is a pathway that you might choose when it comes to dealing with conflict in your personal life, dealing with business decisions, dealing with career decisions, like an uncomfortable decision that you might be faced with, where maybe you need to make a change as far as like what your pathway is in life, but you don't do it. Instead, you fuck off. And that the inclination to fuck off, I think, that gathers momentum as well. The inclination to be disciplined, that comes with momentum too. And I think both things, like you take a path, the path of the healthy person or the path of the fuck off. Like, this is not, like, your body is like a race car that you can juice up yourself. Like, you can add the fat tires, you can add the improved suspension, you can beef up the horsepower in the engine. You could do all that yourself. Or you could just choose to have this shitty body that's always falling apart on you, because we're essentially ecosystems. You know, and we're in charge. This weird consciousness that has all this resistance and has all this inclination towards comfort and fucking off and blowing things off is what is in charge of making all these things happen that keep this ecosystem healthy. It's almost like if Earth itself had like a shitty manager. You know, if like there was a manager of a natural manager of Earth that was like, oh God, who cares if it rains? Oh God, you know, like I'm gonna stop growing things. I don't give a shit anymore. It's all stupid anyway.
Sacrifice. You get to pick your damn sacrifice. That's all. You don't get to not make one. So you're sacrificial whether you want to be or not. This is the Peter Pan story, roughly speaking. Peter Pan is this magical boy. Pan is the god of everything, roughly speaking, right? And so it's not an accident that he has the name Pan. And he's the boy that won't grow up. And he's magical. Well, that's because children are magical. They can be anything. They're nothing but potential. And Peter Pan doesn't want to give that up. Why? Well, he's got some adults around him, but the main adult is Captain Hook. Well, who the hell wants to grow up to be Captain Hook? First of all, you've got a hook. Second, you're a tyrant. And third, you're chased by the dragon of chaos with the clock in its stomach, right? The crocodile. It's already got a piece of you. Well, that's what happens when you get older. Time has already got a piece of you. And eventually, it's got a taste for you. And eventually, it's going to eat you. And so Hook is so traumatized by that he can't help but be a tyrant. And then Peter Pan looks at traumatized Hook and says, well, no, I'm not sacrificing my childhood for that. So that's fine, except he ends up king of the Lost Boys. In Neverland, well, Neverland doesn't exist, and who the hell wants to be king of the Lost Boys? And he also sacrifices the possibility that he'll have a real relationship with a woman, because that's Wendy, right? And she's kind of conservative, middle-class, London-dwelling girl. She wants to grow up and have kids and have a life. She accepts her mortality, she accepts her maturity. Peter Pan has to content himself with Tinkerbell. She doesn't even exist. She's like the fairy of porn. She doesn't exist. She's the substitute for the real thing. And so, but the dichotomy that you're talking about is very tricky, because there's a sacrificial element in maturation, right? You have to sacrifice the pluripotentiality of childhood for the actuality of a frame. And the question is, well, why would you do that? Well, one reason is it happens to you whether you do it or not. You can either choose your damn limitation, or you can let it take you unaware when you're 30, or even worse, when you're 40. And then that is not a happy day. And I see people like this, and I think it's more and more common in our culture, because people can put off maturity without suffering an immediate penalty. But all that happens is the penalty accrues, and then when it finally hits, it just wallops you. Because when you're 25, you can be an idiot. It's no problem. Even when you're out in a job search, it's like, well, you don't have any experience and you're kind of clueless. It's, yeah, you're young, it's no problem. That's what young people are like, but they're full of potential. Okay, well, now you're the same person at 30. It's like people aren't so thrilled about you at that point. It's like, what the hell have you been doing for the last 10 years? Well, I'm just as clueless as I was when I was 22. It's, yeah, but you're not 22. You're an old infant, right? And that's an ugly thing, an old infant. So part of the reason you choose your damn sacrifice, because the sacrifice is inevitable. but at least you get to choose it. And then there's something that's even more complex than that in some sense, is that the problem with being a child is that all you are is potential, and it's really low resolution. You could be anything, but you're not anything. So then you go and you adopt an apprenticeship, roughly speaking, and then you become, at least you become something. And when you're something, that makes the world open up to you again. You know, like if you're a really good plumber, then you end up being far more than a plumber, right? You end up being a good employer. Not that plumbers, I'm not putting plumbers down. It's like more power to plumbers. They've saved more lives than doctors. So, hygiene, right? So, you know, if you're a really good plumber, well, then you have some employees, you run a business, you train some other people, you enlarge their lives, you're kind of a pillar of the community, you have your family. Once you pass through that narrow training period, which narrows you and constricts you and develops you at the same time, then you can come out the other end with a bunch of new possibility at hand. And Jung talked about that. He thought that part of the proper path of development in the last half of life was to rediscover the child that you left behind as you were apprenticing. And so then you get to be something and regain that potential at the same time. Very, very smart. Well, he was very, very smart. So that's very wise thing to know. Sacrifice. You get to pick your damn sacrifice. That's all. You don't get to not make one. So you're sacrificial whether you want to be or not. That's a good thing to know as well.